I've done that in my career, so I'm excited to be able to share that with you. I'm going to break this down into two parts for you. We're going to start with goals and goal setting. And as Sharon mentioned, I've been fortunate to be able to achieve a few goals personally, running some marathons, which was really pretty special because I did it late in life. I didn't start doing that until my 40s. I did box. That was a long time ago. But when I did box, it did teach me that I love to run too, because you have to do that road work. And so from boxing, I learned a little bit about that. Learned a little about myself. We're gonna skip the buttons. I picked the right one the first time. Alright. So today we're going to start with how we define goals, how we look at the time it takes to achieve goals, and really understanding goals. What are our goals, and how do we break them apart? I think of them in short-term, moderate, and long-term goals. So you got to be able to kind of look at them and think about them so that you can achieve them. You are all here because you are special. You have done something special. You've made this team, right? And those of you that are brand new, there's a reason you're in this room, and you're going to be able to build on what you brought to the table. So I know Sharon, and I know you wouldn't be here unless she sees something in you. And if you're going to do it, she's going to help you get there. So she's going to help you find your goals. So when I think about the goals, and we kind of look at goals in our industry, and I'm in the golf business, but I'm really in the sales and marketing business. We're in the business of selling fun. We're trying to make people have fun, enjoy themselves. We need them to keep coming back day in and day out. We want them to spend their money with us at our clubs, and there's a lot of competition. The golf industry has so much competition. So if we can't engage them and we can't make them feel like they're the most special person, they may go down the road and go play somewhere else. And all our golf courses aren't the cheapest golf courses in town. Some of them are the most expensive. So we have to continue to get them to want to come, spend their money. We have to show them value. And we do that by defining our goals every day. So I work hard with my team to try to get them to understand that. We like to think about how we accomplish our goals, and we work. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of SMART goals. You guys ever heard of the term SMART goals? Anybody? Come on. One, two. I got a couple of raising their hand. But SMART goals are kind of defined like this, and this is how we think about our action plan every day. You start by creating a SMART goal. And a SMART goal is something that's specific, very specific goals. Something you can measure. Think about measuring. Can you define it? Can it be something that you can do in a week, in a month, in a year? Is it obtainable? Is it something that you know that's possible? 21 admissions? Is that what the number is, Sharon? 21, right? 21 referrals. Is that obtainable? Is it realistic? And then can you put some time and tracking to it? Because at the end of the day, you want to measure that. You want to say, hey, I did it. And I know Sharon and Zeus are going to measure it because they're going to set goals for you. And they're going to say, here's the money. You do it. You're going to get it, right? So you got to be able to pull that off and understand that. Just talking about running real quick, I'll tell you a story. When I first even thought about the idea of running a marathon was back in 2008. Email came across my computer. It was from a fellow PGA professional who was asking if anybody was interested in running a marathon for an organization called the Folds of Honor. And the Folds of Honor was created by a PGA professional who also happened to be a reservist pilot. He did 3 tours, and one day he was on his way home, and when he was on the plane, the pilot got on the speaker and said, we got some folks we're going to honor today. If you would, please take a moment. We're going to let these folks honor the soldiers who are with us that we are carrying home from Iraq. So a very moving moment for him. He was a reservist, and at that moment, he just felt like he had to do something really special. And he did, and he created this group called the Folds of Honor. And all he did was, he just started making phone calls to guys like myself, golf professionals, and he just said, we got to figure this out. What can we do? You know, I just want to ask for a little bit of money because I want to be able to give money back to these people's family. So in a matter of about 6 months, we got every golf course that we could think of to start donating money on Labor Day, just asking for one more dollar. $1 we asked. So on Labor Day weekend, when our golfers came, we said, would you please give one extra dollar to help these families? And this thing has turned into an unbelievable organization. You may have seen it on ABC or Fox. He's got the biggest sponsors. He's got Budweiser. And it is amazing the growth over the last 5 years. And every day they're handing out scholarships to kids for college and to help support the kids. So that's the start of it. Something simple, an idea that this man had came across my desk and he said, let's run a marathon, let's raise some money. And I'm like, I'm in. I got to do this because I always wanted to run a marathon, and what better way to motivate yourself than to do something for a great cause. So I had this chance, and we worked hard, and I was busy. I was right in the time I was starting my business. And I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to do this? How am I going to start a business, run this marathon, train, have my family, and take care of all this and make this work? And you can do it when you think smart. And I was able to do it. And I ran a great marathon in 2009. I managed to raise about $9,000 personally for that group. And it was just the most fabulous opportunity to do that. But I did that really by this. Every day I thought about it. I tracked every mile. Every morning I had it in my phone. I knew exactly how many miles I had to train. I was training 30 to 45 miles a week. So it's a lot of hours. So you can accomplish goals. You can do things that are for yourself and that are for others at the same time. And you'll be surprised. We'll kind of wrap this up of how this can really help you in your business and make things work. So we think about this acronym using SMART goals. And with my team, I ask them every week. We just kind of say, hey guys, let's just give a quick update. Give me that quick weekly update. I need to know, and I'm sure Sharon does this. But shoot me your goals. I want to hear what's going on. I need some feedback. And this is what we use. So we just ask them to give us a little specific goal about how you'd like to accomplish this season. For us, it's the golf season, which ties back to our vision. And it's attainable and realistic. So what is it that's attainable and realistic for you? You know, so as you think about that, you know, I kind of look at that 21 number I wrote down when you were talking. So is that obtainable? Is that realistic? Is that what everybody has? For us, we were talking about some outing business and growing our outing business. What percentage can we grow our business? So find out, does that meet and tie into your business, and is it realistic? And then give us 2 wins. Just tell us 2 things from the previous week you did. Did you get those 5 admissions, right? Did that happen? If it didn't, you know, why not? And what did you do about it? Talk about some action plans. So even if you're not doing this externally, internally for yourselves as salespeople, if you think this way, and just take a minute and write them down. Think of 2 things that you can do, 2 ideas that you want to be coming up with going forward. And you'll be amazed at how you'll be able to accomplish those goals. Because they're small, right? They're attainable, and you're thinking about them that day. So think about goal setting, think about that. And then I think every day you got to kind of think about your perspective. Because things are moving and changing. That doc maybe changed and went somewhere else, or there's a new social worker that you got to deal with that wasn't there yesterday. So you have to be able to shift. Okay, so being willing to shift and change, that's when things go well for you. I think about planning and goal setting in this way. We look at goals in 3 different ranges. We have our short-term goals. They're kind of daily, weekly stuff we're doing every day. We get up, how many calls do I got to make? Who do I have to talk to today? What's my real goal? I know someone told me, write 6 things down. My wife, I think, uses this in her business as well. Write 6 things down and accomplish 6 things today. And that's a great way to think about it, right? And I use technology myself. So I use my smartphone. I always start the day, write a few things down that I've got to accomplish. A lot of times I'll do it in the evening before I go to bed. I use my laptop a lot. You see me carrying around a laptop a lot. But I use a laptop because I like to email and draft email all the time. So I start a bunch of emails. I may not finish them, but I got 100 people I got to talk to tomorrow. And especially when I'm away from work for a bunch of days, I got to go back, a bunch of people to talk to. So instead of just thinking about it, I just start a draft email to them. I just start the first couple of lines, and then I just put it away. Because I don't have time maybe right now to finish it, but then I can get back to it. So that's those times when you might be over the weekend. It might be when you got a few minutes in between, the kids are at the game and you're going to pick them up and you're in your car. Take advantage of your time so that you can get those things done. Moderate goals, monthly, quarterly, annual, and I think about the way I think about them. Short-term goals, we're scheduling, we're planning, and follow through, right? First you got to schedule them, then you got to plan it, then you got some follow through. But your moderate goals are a little different. You got to start planning first for them, right? It's the opposite. You really got to start planning for something that's a little more long term. You got to schedule, and you can't do them alone. You need support, right? And I think I'm just piggybacking off of what Sharon said. You've got some great mentors in this room. There's a lot of new folks, and you got some great mentors, it sounds like. So you got some awesome opportunity if you're new to really, just grab onto these people who have been doing it and doing it well. And just get some support. You got Sharon, you got Zeus, you got everybody here that's here to help you. I'm sure you got your managers. So take that time because you can't do it alone. In long range, it's vision. It's dedication. It's planning. A marathon is dedication, right? Building a business is dedication. It's planning. It's vision. I heard Zeus say, just never imagined it. I don't believe that. I think you imagined it from day one. I think, we know Zeus is a dreamer and he sees it and he can make it happen. And he made it happen here and he's going to keep making it happen because he was able to think long range and he has a vision. So have your own visions for yourself as salespeople. Think big and figure out a way to get to your dreams. So let's kind of move in a little different direction. We kind of think about our goals, but really, what's the end game? We got all these goals, we write them down, we accomplish certain things, but how do we get some support in your business today? How do we get there? And Sharon mentioned the word players. They could be customers, they could be your seniors, whatever industry we're in. We've got to think about who the players are in our industry and how we impact all these people, right? How does each one of them need us? So we know we got our doctors and the referral coordinators. I got a little help on this slide. We got our case managers and our social workers, right? You got your seniors and your patients, your families, your internal staff, and your communities. And no matter what business we have community, right? My community might look a little different than your community, but we have community that we work towards. And ultimately, you'll find so much success in community. I know Sharon used this example, and I love this because this is what I think about every day, is how to build community. In our industry and in our game, it is all about community and reaching out. We're trying to take that young player and bring him into the game. We're trying to get mom involved. We're trying to get the family to play more. We're trying to get that guy that played 5 days a week to start playing 5 days a week again because he stopped and he's only playing twice. So you're trying to build that community and find new ways to get there. And sometimes it's not by doing your job. Sometimes it's doing something special, something different, reaching out, finding a connection that can help you. So how do we engage community? And I heard today, Ryan was a great example today. On the weekends, he's reading. He's out there reading to seniors. That's engaging community. That's awesome, right? So that's such a cool thing because he's out there doing something it's in his circle, but he's stepping out a little bit. He's just going that little bit extra. And I know there was more of you. I just remember Ryan's name easier. But I know some of you are doing this, and if you're not, trust me, this is a great way to build your business. And it's not just about business. It just makes you feel good at the end of the day. You know, what we're all about, you know, at the end of the day, how we feel when we go home. Part of it is being successful in our business, but that business sometimes brings us these extra things that you never thought it could bring you. You just never saw it coming, and then all of a sudden it's there. For me, running a marathon and being a part of a Folds of Honor team. For me, it was about the passion I had for junior golf. And just as a golf instructor, learning that, wow, I can make a big, big difference in the way kids respond and react. And we spend so much time just dealing with kids that some of these kids may never have had a chance to play golf. Never, ever even thought about golf in their life. And, you know, we pull them out of the city, we put them on a bus, we bring them to the golf course, or sometimes we go to them and we go out into a school and we find them. And the connections we make with those kids and those families, that's special for me. So that's that extra thing it brings to you that you never even think of. You know, you think you're just, oh, I'm going to go volunteer today. I'm going to go help out and give some free lessons. No, it's so special. It's so amazing that, you know, then you want more of that and you keep growing off of that. So build those relationships in there. You got to get some buy-in from people, right? So being salespeople, you know about that. You got to get buy-in. People have to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. So if you're out in the community and you know you're talking about total, you got to be able to really sell that. You got to be able to get them. And I think this is overlooked all the time. Invitation. I think so much we just kind of forget about invitation. Like, why did you come? Nobody invited me. Shoot, why didn't I invite that guy? That would have been a great guy to have here. You just make the invitation. Being in the community, making the connections in the community, creating that impact, at the end of the day, it all turns to engagement. And really, at the end of the day, engagement is what it's all about. If you get people engaged, whether it's a social worker, what'd you call her? The witch at the desk? The window witch? You get the window witch engaged, you got it. I mean, it's going to happen for you. So you're going to grow your business. So buy-in, I just love this slide. I've used this before. I often do a similar type presentation, but I do this for golf. So this is kind of cool, because I'm getting to do this for people that are really engaged in sales, where I got a bunch of golf pros who, it's usually like, I think I did it Friday morning at 8 o'clock, and you know, they were tired because they were up all night, out all night after a long show. so trying to get them engaged was kind of hard. But you know, buy-in is really important. This is where your elevator speech comes, right? This is where you need 30, 60 seconds. You better sell it. You better know exactly what Total is about, what you want to tell them, and sell it. What you're about, and sell it to them. Make sure you have that in your head so that first time you meet somebody, and sometimes you meet people not what you think. Sometimes you're at the chamber meeting and you bump into a doctor who you never even thought you were going to see. You better be ready. You better have that speech. You better know exactly what you want to say and be able to let it out and make your impact. So getting back to the invitation, right? What is the invitation? This really, again, this piggybacks a lot on what Sharon said. Sharon talked about the calls, about scheduling meetings, showing up. You guys got some great technology, it sounds like, which is awesome. I'll tell you what. The golf business is about 8 years behind everybody else all the time. So we fight and struggle with technology. We work so hard at trying it. And, you know, in our industry, we look like innovators because we are willing to risk and try new technology all the time. But we see other industries who have it, and we see the benefit of it. So we want it too. You have it. You got to take advantage of it. Do not waste that technology. Show up on your calls, your playmaker, know your audience. You know, if you can build portfolios, or is that the right word, Sharon? Is it what's a portfolio builder? Throw the word at me.
Account profile.
Account profiles. You build your profiles and you really know people. Boy, it's amazing. I think that opportunity of really getting to know people really, really works. I know my wife's in the back room right there, so I'm going to call her out right there. Colleen worked for Fox and ABC as a salesperson. She sold airtime for a long time. She's an artist now. She made these really cool words you could say. But she spent a lot of time talking about sales and marketing to me, so I learned a whole bunch. And what I learned about is just knowing your audience. She was so good at just connecting with people and getting them to just spill. I mean, people would tell her anything. It was crazy. Like, they talked about everything but the sale. She always walked out with a sale. It was amazing. And, Colleen sold football and baseball contracts, and she don't know one thing about football or baseball. But she knew about their family, they knew about us, and they felt the connection. She made that happen. So that's an awesome, awesome gift to have. So try to learn that. And then focus on the right invitation. I heard Sharon talk about this today. The focus is so important. You could spend so much time talking to the wrong people. You got only a short window sometimes of really digging in. You get an opportunity, and then you go spend it talking to the wrong person. And a nice conversation maybe, and everything was great, but it didn't do anything for you. It didn't get that business that you were looking for. So often, we kind of focus in the wrong place. So think about your focus. Think about really, who matters, that referral source. What are you doing to connect to that doctor? So let's talk about who's out there, right? This is your community. This is where all the people that you're dealing with. Again, I had a little help on this one. Mine looks a little different in the golf business. But everybody has a reason for being there, right? The doctor's looking for you. They're looking for that service and the follow-up communication. Those doctors, they don't have a lot of time. They're busy people. They need to make sure that works. They see value. The MD office has less calls, right? So less time their employees are doing some work. Patients and family are being dealt with. The seniors, that's really what it's all about, right? That's, I think, the passion that you all have is for the seniors and servicing them and providing them with an opportunity to get well and to live their lives as best they can. So it's that service you provide them. They're really just looking for, show up on time. How bad would it be if they're waiting for their nurse, right? That's got to be the worst thing, I would think. So show up on time and be there for them. They want to feel independent. They want to keep that feeling. Families, right? I think if you can get to the families and they feel confident and they trust you, they have peace of mind. That means everything, right? They're going to feel great about it. Then they're going to refer you the next time something happens to a friend of theirs. Your internal staff, that teamwork, praising each other. I really think you guys do a great job of that. And, I can see that. That's an awesome thing to really be able to work together. So again, those that are new here, take advantage of that. If you've got a great team, just grab on and learn from them. And then community, it really all kind of just funnels down to community, because the big picture, if you're improving the patient's outcomes, that's better for a community altogether, right? Everybody's doing better. So you got to think of those things. What do these people want? What's important to them? And then how do you create your goals and your objectives to meet all these different groups? Because that's where you're at. So this is kind of where I spend my life. I spend a lot of my time engaging community. As a business owner now, I got golf courses in different regions. And so I have to learn new communities all the time. I got to be able to find my way there. And I have, my regional managers need to know the community, understand it. So we spend a lot of our time up front just trying to understand who's in the community, what's this particular community about, and what's special, what's important to this community. And they're all different. I'm sure Miami or Houston is a very different market, and they have different needs and wants. So you got to find out what they want. And if you live in that community, you're a part of it, you're going to do a lot better. So find that common interest. I think if you go find a common interest that you love, that you have some passion for, it's going to mean a bunch, right? It's going to really help because you really look authentic when you're out there. You're not faking it. You're not at that clinic or helping a senior do a walk or whatever's going on in that community that supports maybe a doctor who's got a 5K run that he's putting on, and whatever it is in that community. If you happen to like that same thing and you have a passion for it, and I hope you have a passion for seniors because that's why you're here. But if you can find that, you can really use it to your advantage. You can really figure out a way to work that. And giving back, to me, is just the best part of the day. You know, when I get a chance to just volunteer, and I volunteer to do like yard chairman on a bunch of boards, and I get a chance to volunteer, but I still like, even though I'm on the board level, I still like to go in the schools and do the teaching. We started our golf in school program in New Jersey in 2005. And in 2005, I used to go to the schools, take my bag of clubs and balls, and we had all this snag with little tennis balls and Velcro and really colorful stuff and just fun for the kids. I used to drag all this stuff and be in the schools and set it up and try to teach the kids and, you know, make an impact in that school. Try to get those teachers and those supervisors really interested so that we can figure out a way to keep golf in the schools because we need it. Golf needs golf in schools to continue to grow. We know at the core, golf is only going to continue to grow if we can build more people up. And if we can build it in the schools and make it mainstream, we got a great opportunity, right? So I started there. Now I've worked my way to this board level where I oversee 150 schools. We're doing about 150,000 kids that go through a program. And now we're teaching the gym teachers how to teach golf. So now we spend our time teaching the gym teachers to teach golf so that we can impact a much larger audience. So this has grown over 10 years to get to be the largest golf and school program in the country. We got the rest of the country looking at it going, how do we do this? And we said, you can do it, but it takes a lot of focus, a lot of dedication. I heard the word tenacity, a lot of tenacity. You got to be willing to keep going. But at the end of the day, I still like going to the schools. I still like going and teaching the golf. So I don't have a lot of time in my day to do it, but I still make time to do that because that's the giving back part, and that feels good. And it's amazing when they see me out there. It matters. It really matters. When that phys ed teacher or that supervisor or principal from the school sees me there, they're like, wow, I just thought you were the guy that I signed the papers with. That's kind of cool. You're out here with us. So it really matters, and it matters to me. So find your passion. You know, hopefully that passion's here with your seniors, and you'll be surprised how great it can be. Reaching into the community doesn't have to be about golf for us, and it doesn't have to be about seniors for you per se. You know, find something that people like. This was a race we ran at one of our golf courses. The guy in the green shirt is a wounded vet, Rory Hamill. He just did a PSA, I think, for Wounded Warriors. My wife said she saw it on TV the other day for Folds of Honor. But amazing guy, you know, saved a bunch of his team, got himself out of there, died twice on the table, came back, and just an amazing soldier. So, you know, to do something like raise some money or run an event for a guy like that, it's really pretty easy to do. You know, it doesn't take much, but what an impact on the community you can make. So find ways you can impact, and I think that's most important. So just a few nuggets. Let's talk about, you know, what really matters. Being willing to reach out, right? Stretch yourself. I heard that today. Stretch. You've got to be willing. You've got to be willing to stretch and reach out. Focus and tenacity. Manage your time well. Stay focused. If you're focused, you're going to sell. There's no doubt. If you're selling, you're helping seniors. Share your passion. You know, really just find whatever it is. You know, talk to doctors. I know Chad I know Chad does that a lot with some of the docs. He spends a lot of time with a bunch of docs up there, and you know, what great relationships he's built, I know, over the years. And I've been hearing about it and seeing it, and you know, when I'm with him, I see doctors calling him up on the phone, and it's not about business all the time. They are just calling Chad because they want to talk to Chad.
It's more fun when it's not about business.
That's right. That's right. And you're making it about business without it being about
They
business.
just they become a part of your life.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah, great point. They are part of your life. Be willing to volunteer, to donate, show up, and support people. And see the big picture. I think Zeus has given you a really great view of the big picture. See that big picture and be a part of it. Want to be a bigger part of it. Stretch. Go outside those boundaries. Don't be afraid to step out of those boundaries a little bit. I think more of it happens out here, right, in the community. It all happens out here. Make it happen out there. Engage others. And then really focus. Write down your goals. Don't be afraid to write them down. You know, put something on paper. You'll be amazed what you can accomplish. So let's pull it all together. My wife doesn't like this word, exploit, but I'll say use your talents, right? Use your talents. But you do. You end up exploiting them because you care and you want to do things that are fun for you, and then it turns out something great. Find mentors and supports. You got to have mentors. You got to have people that support you. You got great, sounds like you got great IT and tech. Thank you, by the way. And you did a great job for me. And you got great support and mentors in the room, so take advantage of them. Make setting goals a habit. You know, they can be simple. Just every day, write 2 or 3 things down. Just start there. Then think bigger. Then think the quarterly numbers. Then think the annuals. Then think big picture. What can I do? Where do I want to be? Do I want to be a vice president? Who do I want to be in this company? But think big. But thinking big is great, but it takes follow through, right? And I'm all about follow through. So when I meet with my team and my staff, and I had a 3-hour meeting yesterday with them, we were doing just this. We were talking about what our goals and objectives are. And I told them, we're going to come up with our goals and objectives for this year, but we're going to follow through. And I said, so whatever we put on that paper today, we're going to follow through on. We're going to be consistent. We're going to continue to be consistent. That's my word of the year, by the way. Consistency. And we're going to follow through. So having grand ideas and never being able to follow through results in failure. If you don't follow through, it never happens. There's a million great ideas that are piled up on a piece of paper on somebody's desk that just didn't get followed through on. So you got to be willing to show up, and you have to continue. You have to follow through. Okay? When you follow through, you build a reputation. And you'll find this. So anybody that's new, I guarantee you, the ones that are knocking it out of the park every week are the ones that have built a reputation of that. They continue to do so. Often we see the same people up winning awards. I think that happened today. We see that. They've built a reputation. You can do that. You can build your reputation, and that makes you just through that follow-up.